Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have Carissa and Meg here from Funk It Up Mobile Makeup Artists. And we've all been there, we've had that moment where we've walked down the aisle, we've got a bit teary perhaps, and we need a bit of a touch-up after the ceremony before we go and get some photos taken. So, Carissa, how often do you see this? You must see it all the time.
I would say 90% of brides get emotional. They see their groom, they see their beautiful bridesmaids, everything they've put together, worked hard to plan, and the emotions just take hold. And I mean, it's real love, so you get emotional. And yes, the makeup does stay pretty good, but we need a few minor touch-ups that have to happen before our professional photography needs to happen.
Excellent. So what I'll do is we'll get you to go through the touch-up process, and if you can just talk us through a little bit of what you're doing. And this is the kind of thing that obviously you have a particular offer that you have where you help the brides out. So we'll talk about that in a moment, but this is also something that maybe mother of the bride or the bridesmaids or the bride herself can do.
Absolutely. The bridesmaids and the bride should always have a compact powder and a touch-up lipstick in their clutch or bag for the day. So first thing is what I always tell brides is let the tears flow. Okay, so we're using tissues to tap away the tears as they roll down, don't capture them in the eyes. So let them come down a bit. So what that does is it only affects the makeup underneath the eye, and that's only just base. So not such a big deal. So the first thing you do is you would get a foundation brush or sometimes a cotton tip, and what you're doing is just blending and patting the area where the tears have been, and just smoothing out anything that's been affected. After you've done that, we want to use powder, and sometimes the ceremonies are under the sun, they could be out, they could be in church, it's a bit warm, or something similar. So all you want to do is just lightly powder the T-zone. If you have actually physically had sweat appear, you need to first get a tissue and take that away first before you powder, otherwise you just blend in there. So after you've done that, you just want to gently powder the T-zone. Okay? You're not trying to change your makeup, because professional makeup doesn't diminish that like that. Okay, so all you're doing is fixing the T-zone. After you've done that, everything else should be perfect in my eyes. And when I've done weddings, that's the experience I have with the makeup. So last thing is you've obviously had your big romantic I do kiss, so you're going to need to fix the lips up. Okay, so what you want to do then, and you still have some lip there, but first just line the outside of your lip, because most brides will buy a touch-up lipstick. So you just want to line it neatly, and then fill it, and just make sure if you need a glossy photos, depending if you're going for a matte look or a glossy. Try and stick to the look that you went with at your trial and your wedding makeup, and then you should be ready for photo. You should be perfect again, and that's it literally should take 2 minutes. And most photographers are really patient and will wait for you to do that touch-up because it is important.
There's a lot to be said, isn't there, for getting your makeup done professionally. It seems like the guys don't really get it, do they? You get the lippy on and you think, oh, how can it be that much effort? But there's a lot to be said when you're saying that is all you need to be doing to touch up. You don't need to touch your eye makeup. You don't need to touch those real fundamentals, do you?
Not at all. You should definitely not have to touch anything like that if you've gone and paid for professional makeup. It's literally cleaning up any of the areas where tears or kissing, or you might have had your mum kiss you on the cheek, you might have a nice little lipstick mark here and things like that, so you also need to just check for that as well for your photography. It's just that some of the most beautiful photos and some of the most important photos are the ones that you get with your groom after you've seen I Do. So that's why you need to check that makeup.
Okay, so just and I know I'm putting you on the spot a little bit here, but when you're looking for a professional makeup artist, do you have a top 5 checklist perhaps that you would tick off in looking for that right person to do your makeup on your special day?
Yeah, absolutely. I would be first checking credibility, seeing what experience they've had, checking the product, seeing the credibility of the product, checking photography with that product and making sure there's no issues there, maybe even asking your photographer's advice on if the person you chose would be someone that they recommend and having a look at them, they have a look at the work. The third thing is, do you communicate well with the makeup artist and get on well with them, because they're going to be with you on your day for at least 4 to 5 hours, so they impact your day a lot. So they actually can set your scene and set the mood of the day, so that's really important too. And the fourth thing I guess would be, do they meet your needs? Are they mobile, or can they come to you? Do they provide lashes? Can you buy the touch-up lipsticks from them? There's a lot of different factors.
I noticed you've got some beautiful products on your display here, which is just inside the entrance to the expo itself. Can you tell me a little bit about the products that you yourself use and why you've chosen those particular products?
Absolutely. We use Harlot Cosmetics. We have done for 7 years. The reason we chose Harlot is it's cruelty-free, it's made in Australia. The stockist herself is a brilliant makeup artist. Everything she's designed, she tailors to a makeup artist's needs. She's not doing it just to sell. She actually uses it every day on City Brides and herself. She actually communicates with us. We're actually the largest stockist in Australia, and she communicates with us on how to formulate, and for our climate as well. So the powder is actually, she doesn't use it, but it's formulated for our brides. The bronzer is formulated for our brides. And there's just a lot of things that I've found, if I was designing a makeup range, this is exactly how I do it, because she's actually taken our advice on board and gone with it. And I think it has proven itself in the years of brides we've done. And the makeup just looks fantastic in photos. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, Carissa, Meg, thank you very much. I'm sure that the brides here today got a lot out of that. And look, do stop by and have a look at the Funk It Up exhibit that we've got here. It's just beautiful to look at, if nothing else. And I think it looks lovely. Lots of sparkly bits, and of course, you know, a girl's makeup is very important on a special day. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.